Hello and welcome to the demo of SimFestTycoon, Festival Simulator. SimFestTycoon was a school project made in the Netherlands at Havans Hogeschool Breda. This is a 2D visual simulator tied with an agenda containing data. It is meant to show crowd control that can be manipulated during an organized event. The entire application was created in Java. To start building up a festival, first an entrance has to be placed. On the right of the screen is a panel containing buttons for placing different buildings. Secondly, we'll place a stage. The stage can be rotated into 4 different directions. Next, we will connect a road from the entrance directly to our stage. To place a road, I can click to place the first node and then click again to place the second node. I can also click directly on a building. The node will then snap to that building and will draw a road between them. When a road splits into more directions, a cross sign will appear on a junction. This is for indicating which way the visitors need to go. This corner seems like a good location to place some toilets. I see that there's plenty of room, so I can resize this building to be a little larger. Now that has been placed, we can start expanding this festival a little bit. I can zoom out in the editor, so I can start building more to the far right. We already have a stage that looked like this, so I'll get a different one. I can also place food and gift stands in this open spot. Pizza stand seems a little bit too much, so I'll get rid of that one. Now I will rename the stages, so that it will be easier for me to remember which stage is which. Next up, we'll have to make our agenda. I create a new agenda and then name it. Then I will check the duration of my event. This 1 day is fine for now. The agenda is empty at the moment, so I'll have to add some new artists that will perform at my festival. I can create new entries for artists, set their genre, type and popularity. I can also add an image. I can add as many entries as I wish and decide which artists are more popular than others. Now I have 2 artists available, so I can start planning when they will perform. On the left there are 2 timelines, one for each stage. By clicking on it, a 1 hour time period appears. I can adjust this time period as I please and choose which artist will perform. First I will add Daft Punk to the main stage from 1312 to 1430. I will create another for deadmau5. I can also let artists perform at the same time, so I can see where the crowd will move once both perform at the same time at different stages. I can also switch from a timeline view to a list view, where all data is summarized. From this point, it's still possible to change the name of my agenda. Now that I have an agenda ready, we can start the simulation. First, I will have to estimate the amount of visitors that are expected to attend. I think about 200. I can click on the play button and will be prompted to select an agenda. I can have multiple agendas to have different simulations. After selecting, the time will start and visitors will start appearing out at the entrance. As no artists are performing at the moment, most people will start wandering around. Others will seek out the food stands. By clicking on a food stand, I can see how many people have visited there. For the pathfinding of the visitors, the A-star algorithm has been used. This is a very handy algorithm that will determine the shortest possible route for a visitor to go to a location. A road is easier for a visitor to take. Unless there is a much shorter way, a visitor will prefer to stay on the road. The visitors detect collision with the buildings, so they cannot walk through them. However, at the moment they do not detect collision with one another. I can speed up the time by using the slider. It is now past 1312 and Daft Punk will perform at the main stage. Visitors are now moving towards the stage and clustering together. I can now see where dense concentrations of visitors are appearing, so I can keep them in mind when designing the routes. Now deadmau5 will appear at the secondary stage, and people are moving towards that one. I can see some people moving over the grass, for it is a much shorter route than taking the road around it. It would be much handy to place a road here later. Now that both artists are performing, I can see a slight change in that more people are visiting the main stage rather than the secondary stage. Also the statistics show this. You can see that more people have visited the main stage with Daft Punk rather than the secondary stage with deadmau5. I can see also a big cluster of visitors here. It might be a big problem when the real festival is on. Since visitors were moving over the grass here, I might as well make it a road for easier access. It is now past 11 o'clock and it is getting rather dark. This darkness is just a filter and has no effect on the simulation. I can pause my simulation at any time by pressing the pause button. I can then resume it later. I I want to close this festival a little earlier, so I will tell the entrance to go to the closed state. Now the visitors will start leaving the festival by the entrance from where they came. Some bugged visitors are stuck here, but I can end the simulation by pressing the stop button. As it turned out, placing this road was much more effective. Now I can save this layout of the festival into a separate file, so I can work on it again later. When I start a new instance of the program, I can reload my layout again. And that concludes the demo of this software program. I was very lucky to be part of this development team, and I learned much from this project. Thank you for watching.